Jai Hind everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel which is Explore Yourselves, Banking and General Knowledge etc. Jai Hind, your daily boost. Tithi Nakshatra and important anniversaries. A spiritual and historical insight of 23rd January 2025 Thursday. Bengali date 9 Mag 1431. As per Madhavsil Ponjika, today's Tithi is Krishna Navami and up to 1534 hours and after that Krishna Dasami. Today's Nakshatra is Swati Nakshatra and up to 0121 hours and after that Visakha Nakshatra. Today is 23rd day of the year. There are then 342 days left in 2025. Today is 4th Thursday of 2025. Today is Netaji Jayanti. Subhash Chandra Bose was born on 23rd January 1897 in Cuttack, Odisha. He was famously known as Netaji. Netaji was one of the prominent leaders who struggled for India's independence from British rule. He is most famously known for building Indian National Army with Japanese support. Today is National Handwriting Day. National Handwriting Day, celebrated annually on January 23rd, is a day dedicated to recognizing the importance of handwriting. Established by the Writing Instrument Manufacturers Association WIMA, this day highlights the cultural and historical significance of handwritten communication. In an era dominated by digital devices, National Handwriting Day stands as a beacon celebrating the personal touch, individuality, and artistic expression inherent in writing by hand. It's a tribute to a skill that not only connects us with our history but also allows us to express our unique identities. Today is Maternal Health Awareness Day. Maternal Health Awareness Day is celebrated annually on January 23rd. It's a day to increase awareness of maternal health and safety, including issues like maternal mortality and postmortem health. Today is International Sticky Toffee Pudding Day. International Sticky Toffee Pudding Day is celebrated on January 23rd. It's a day to celebrate the British dessert that's made of a moist sponge cake covered in toffee sauce. So it makes sense that on the 23rd of January, it's International Sticky Toffee Pudding Day, a day to celebrate this family favorite across the world. Today is death anniversary of Mr. Navin Chandra Sen, 10th February 1847 to 23rd January 1909. Navin Chandra Sen was a Bengali poet and writer, often considered one of the greatest poets prior to the arrival of Rabindranath Tagore. He commented on the Battle of Plassey and the arrival of British rule in India as a night of eternal gloom. Today is birth anniversary of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, 23rd January 1897. Subhash Chandra Bose was an Indian nationalist whose defiance of British authority in India made him a hero among many Indians. But his wartime alliances with Nazi Germany and Imperial Japan left a legacy vexed by authoritarianism, anti-Semitism, and military failure. The honorific Netaji, Hindustani respected leader, was first applied to Bose in Germany in early 1942 by the Indian soldiers of the Indische Legion and by the German and Indian officials in the Special Bureau of India in Berlin. It is now used throughout India. Bose was born into wealth and privilege in a large Bengali family in Odisha during the British Raj. The early recipient of an Anglo-centric education, he was sent after college to England to take the Indian Civil Service examination. He succeeded with distinction in the first exam but demurred in taking the routine final exam, citing nationalism to be the higher calling. Returning to India in 1921, Bose joined the nationalist movement led by Mahatma Gandhi and the Indian National Congress. He followed Jawaharlal Nehru to leadership in a group within the Congress which was less keen on constitutional reform and more open to socialism. Bose became Congress president in 1938. After re-election in 1939, differences arose between him and the Congress leaders, including Gandhi, over the future federation of British India and princely states, but also because discomfort had grown among the Congress leadership over Bose's negotiable attitude to non-violence and his plans for greater powers for himself. After the large majority of the Congress Working Committee members resigned in protest, Bose resigned as president and was eventually ousted from the party. In April 1941, Bose arrived in Nazi Germany, where the leadership offered unexpected but equivocal sympathy for India's independence. German funds were employed to open a Free India Center in Berlin. A 3,000 strong Free India Legion was recruited from among Indian POWs captured by Erwin Rommel's Afrika Corps to serve under Bose. Although peripheral to their main goals, the Germans inconclusively considered a land invasion of India throughout 1941. By the spring of 1942, the German army was mired in Russia and Bose became keen to move to Southeast Asia, where Japan had just won quick victories. Adolf Hitler, during his only meeting with Bose in late May 1942, agreed to arrange a submarine. During this time, Bose became a father. His wife or companion, Emily Shankly, gave birth to a baby girl, identifying strongly with the Axis powers. Bose boarded a German submarine in February 1943. Of Madagascar, he was transferred to a Japanese submarine from which he disembarked in Japanese-held Sumatra in May 1943. With Japanese support, Bose revamped the Indian National Army (INA), which comprised Indian prisoners of war of the British Indian Army who had been captured by the Japanese in the Battle of Singapore. A provisional government of Free India was declared on the Japanese-occupied Andaman and Nicobar Islands and was nominally presided by Bose. Although Bose was unusually driven and charismatic, the Japanese considered him to be militarily unskilled and his solidarity effort was short-lived. In late 1944 and early 1945, the British Indian Army reversed the Japanese attack on India. Almost half of the Japanese forces and fully half of the participating INA contingent were killed. The remaining INA was driven down the Malay Peninsula and surrendered with the recapture of Singapore. Bose chose to escape to Manchuria to seek a future in the Soviet Union, which he believed to have turned anti-British. Bose died from third-degree burns after his plane crashed in Japanese Taiwan on 18 August 1945. Some Indians did not believe that the crash had occurred, expecting Bose to return to secure India's independence. The Indian National Congress, the main instrument of India's nationalism, praised Bose's patriotism but distanced itself from his tactics and ideology. The British Raj never seriously threatened by the INA, charged 300 INA officers with treason in the Indian National Army trials, but eventually backtracked in the face of opposition by the Congress and a new mood in Britain for rapid decolonization in India. Bose's legacy is mixed. Among many in India, he is seen as a hero, his saga serving as a would-be counterpoise to the many actions of regeneration, negotiations, and reconciliations over a quarter century through which the independence of India was achieved. His collaborations with Japanese fascism and Nazism posed serious ethical dilemmas, especially his reluctance to publicly criticize the worst excesses of German anti-Semitism from 1938 onwards or to offer refuge in India to its victims. Today is birth anniversary of Sir William Arthur Lewis, 23rd January 1915 to 15th June 1991. Sir William Arthur Lewis was a Saint Lucian economist and the James Madison Professor of Political Economy at Princeton University. Lewis was known for his contributions in the field of economic development, In 1979, he was awarded the Nobel Memorial Prize in Economic Sciences. Today is birth anniversary of Mr. Otto Paul Hermann Diels, 23rd January 1876, 7th March 1954. Otto Paul Hermann Diels was a German chemist. His most notable work was done with Cart-Alder on the Diels-Alder reaction, a method for cyclohexane synthesis. The pair was awarded the Nobel Prize in Chemistry in 1950 for their work. Their method of synthesizing cyclic organic compounds proved valuable for the manufacture of synthetic rubber and plastic. He completed his education at the University of Berlin, where he later worked. Diels was employed at the University of Kiel, where he completed his Nobel Prize winning work and remained there until he retired in 1945. Diels was married with 5 children. He died in 1954. Today is birth anniversary of Mr. Yakuwa Hideki, 23rd January 1907 to 8 September 1981. Hideki Iwakawa was a Japanese theoretical physicist who received the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1949 for his prediction of the meson. Today is birth anniversary of Miss Gertrude Belle Elion, 23rd January 1918 to 21st February 1999. Gertrude Trudy Belle Elion was an American biochemist and pharmacologist who shared the 1988 Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine with George H. Hitchings and Sir James Black for their use of innovative methods of rational drug design for the development of new drugs. This new method focused on understanding the target of the drug rather than simply using trial and error. Here, our work led to the creation of the antiretroviral drug AZT, which was the first drug widely used against AIDS. Her well-known works also include the development of the first immunosuppressive drug, azathioprine, used to fight rejection in organ transplants, and the first successful antiviral drug, acyclovir (ACV), used in the treatment of herpes infection. Today is birth anniversary of Sir Derek Walcott, 23rd January 1930 to 17th March 2017. Sir Derek Alton Walcott was a Saint Lucian poet and playwright. He received the 1992 Nobel Prize in Literature. His works include the Homeric epic poem Homerus, 1990, which many critics view as Walcott's major achievement. In addition to winning the Nobel Prize, Walcott received many literary awards over the course of his career, including an Obie Award in 1971 for his play Dream on Monkey Mountain, a MacArthur Foundation Genius Award, a Royal Society of Literature Award, the Queen's Medal for Poetry, the inaugural OCM Bocas Prize for Caribbean Literature, the 2010 T.S. Eliot Prize for his book of poetry, White Egrets, and the Griffin Trust for Excellence in Poetry Lifetime Recognition Award in 2015. Thank you very much for your patience.